Pre-workout supplementation. So it's a hot topic these days, guys. Now, with pre-workout supplements, there's a lot of supplement companies that really push marketing, and number one, there's really not a whole lot of information on what's inside it. A lot of them have what's called a proprietary mix. They don't really break down what's actually in the pre-workout. So guys, nutrition labels are very important. Now, understanding what a pre-workout does, number one, it's a vasodilator. So it's gonna help your muscles get a better pump, help your blood flow, and depending on which kind you use, it's a stimulant. So a lot of them use caffeine. Now, an alternate to pre-workout, energy-wise, is gonna be black coffee. Number one, it's 0 calorie, 0 fat, 0 carbs, unless you add things to it. I like to use a artificial sweetener or stevia. Now, depending on how many milligrams you're looking for, most pre-workouts are anywhere from 200 to 400 milligrams. That's a lot of caffeine, guys. Now, the more and more you take those, the more and more you're gonna become accustomed to it. So the more you're gonna feel like you need. Now, whenever you get to needing a whole lot of caffeine, number one, if you're not accustomed to it, there are probably a couple of underlying reasons. You may not be getting enough sleep. You may be too stressed out, whether it's at home, at the job, whatever the case may be, or you may be eating inflammatory foods that are gonna ultimately back up the gut and diminish the gut health. Now, there's also another thing that you can take called matcha. It's a green tea, it's a natural caffeine base, and then they have other things like ginseng and another thing called herbamate. Now, cycling caffeines can be a good way to not become accustomed to it. Let's say you go from a matcha to a black coffee to a pre-workout. Then you never really become accustomed to it because you're cycling those caffeines. Now, what I like to do personally, I like to mix a stimulant with a non-stimulant. So I want the benefits of a vasodilator, but I don't want a whole lot of caffeine. So I'll do half a scoop of stimulated pre-workout and half a scoop of non-stimulated pre-workout, but then I also like to mix in what's called BCAAs with my pre-workout as well. Another thing, and really the last thing that you can do, if you want to get a vasodilator plus a little bit of caffeine, you can have some beet juice, which is a natural vasodilator, and then coffee, which is a natural stimulant. Those are going to be the alternates, and a little bit of education on pre-workout supplementation.